Alright, today we're going to show you how we open our pools. My husband and I, we're going to start with taking the cover off. Alright, so we pulled the cover back and obviously you can see that the water is lower than it should be. We didn't drop the water level this low when we winterized it, so there's probably a leak somewhere. I doubt this is evaporation. So once we get it filled up, we'll start checking for a leak. But we're just going to continue on the opening and we will just run it off of main drain for now. Next, we're going to pull the gizmos out of the skimmers. There's one here and one over there. So we're just going to pull these. Then we're also going to pull this one. Alright, now that those are pulled, we are going to start pulling our return plugs, which are these right here. We're going to pull these return plugs. There's 4 of them in this pool. And then we'll start working on the pump. Alright, now that the pool is opened up, we're going to go to the pump side and start dewinterizing that. So for this pump, when we winterized, we put everything in the pump basket. So we're just going to start connecting all of that. This is the filter cap, which is going to go in the sand filter. This is the spyglass, which goes on the sand filter, and the seal. And then these are the pump plugs, which go typically in the side of the pump. Basket goes back in. Add our key handle on winter, so we are going to turn this to recirculate. Alright, being that our pool water is so low, we cannot have our skimmers open or we would never prime up, so we're going to turn our valves that control the water flow so that just our main drain is open and our
main drain.
Yep, and our skimmers are turned off.
North skimmer, south skimmer.
All right, so we're gonna fill this pump basket with water and then we are gonna get it started up. So we had a water hose that was right beside the pump, so we're just going to use the water hose to fill the pump. But if you don't, you could take a bucket, fill it with water, and just fill this basket up, and that should be enough to get the pump going. Once that's full, I'm going to put the lid back on, tighten it down, and then we're going to start it up. Alright, so while we're waiting for the pump to prime up, we're going to go ahead and put these return jets in to the returns. About 3 to 5 minutes since we've tried to start priming the pump and it hasn't started, so he's turned the pump off and he has put the water hose back in it to add more water to try and start over again. Alright, so while we're still waiting for that to prime up, we're going to go ahead and install the handrail at the shallow end and the ladder at the deep end. We will be using our ratchet set and a drill. So when you put your handrail in, there is going to be this anchor and this screw. You're going to want to put the anchor in like this, and then the screw in, and you're just going to want to start it by hand before you put your actual handrail in and just let it drop. Same thing with this one, which is already in. We have this piece that will connect to our drill, and it allows us to add the ratchet pieces to our drill. So same thing with our ladder. We want to make sure that the screw and the anchor inside are connected before we go ahead and put our ladder in. Alright, so next we're going to go through and put down the anchors that the cover was connected to. We use an impact drill with just a Phillips head. We don't want to screw them down too tight, it'll just make it harder to get them out. Alright, so we got all the anchors down. Something I didn't show was rolling up the cover. Just make sure that when you roll that up, you store it in a good place that pests can't get to, because mice love to eat covers and make bedding out of them. So since the algae is so loose in the bottom of this pool, instead of brushing it, we are just going to vacuum it to waste and just go ahead and spit it out so that we don't add chemicals and they're fighting something that we can just go ahead and get out of the pool. We are just adding a little bit of shock to this pool after we vacuumed it to get the water to clear up a little bit more. And we'll come back in the next day or two and give it a backwash. We're going to let it fill and then probably give it another clean, and she will be good to go.